You're welcome to today's series on exegetical, wherein we engage or employ the beauty of biblical languages to gain intended meaning of the Bible text. Today, our attention is focused on how God intends, plans marriage to work, especially as we see in the book of Genesis. You know that Genesis chapter 1 and 2 gives us a glimpse of how God intends or plans out life to be for mankind before man fell in chapter 3. So we want to look at how God planned out marriage and unity, especially in marriage to be, as we look at Genesis chapter 2, verse 25. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 25, there is something very important I'd like to show you about this word translated in English as ashamed. In Hebrew, the word bush, you can see it here, and bush is infinitive. I can have bush, but this is bush. But here we have it something longer than what you are seeing here, and that is another mode in Hebrew verb. So it is called hit poel. Those who are in Hebrew, those who are studying Hebrew will know I've heard about that, or they have heard about hit pael. Either it pael or it poel, they carry the same sense. Right? We have yit bo sha shu. Okay, yit bo sha shu. Right? And this mood in Hebrew verb give a sense of a reflexive, sense of reflexive, wherein when something is reflexive, it means that it affects the subject. Like for instance, if somebody says, "I, um, uh, I am ashamed," all right, that's reflexive. That is, the incidence of the action of the verb is felt or borne by the subject. That is the sense that this is given. But if the subject is much more than one, that is, if the subject is not singular, it's plural, and at least two, that means that the, the sense will be reciprocal. Reflexive and reciprocal is not the same. Reflexive is that it's affecting one person, right? It's coming back to the person, all right? But reciprocal means that there are at least two parties, two persons involved, and the action is to each other. And if it's more than two, it becomes, one another. That's when something is reciprocal in English, you say to each other, for each other, towards each other. And it's more than two parties, you say towards one another or for one another. And that's the sense that this verb is having here. The mood here is giving a sense of reciprocity, something that is mutual, reciprocal. That's the sense that this verb is giving in this sentence. Then, not forgetting that low, of course, is translated as not in English, can also have a sense of never, right? Especially when it is about commands. It can be never, and sometimes it's simply no, right? So, if we are to translate this, looking at the sense that this is given in the reciprocal sense, what we have is that the two, namely Adam and his wife, were naked and did not feel ashamed to each other. Right? The word ashamed here could also mean to shrink in. So none of them shrunk in because of their apparent nakedness. What does that mean? What is the implication of this in this text? Connecting this to the previous verse in verse 24, we see that the Bible says, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." The above translation that we just made now, that is about 25, right, tells us that Adam and Eve were not just unashamed of their nakedness as individuals, but that they were naked, transparent, unabashed, and open to each other. That's the sense that this text is giving. It's saying that they were naked, yes, But the issue is that the nakedness is more or less like their transparency. They see that they need to be open. They needed to be open to each other. So either his emotions, the psychology, of nakedness did not affect him. So he's open. The wife too is open, unabashed. They were open to talk about anything, and this is applicable to how our marriages should work. There should be nothing like secret, undisclosed between a Bible believing couple. Unity is only workable wherever there is mutual transparency, right? Where there is mutual transparency, the husband and the wife respect, they're open to each other. There's nothing that is called undisclosed. Like, this is not, my wife should not know this, my wife should not know this. There's nothing like that in marriage. If you want your marriage to work, I'm talking to husband and wife now. If you want your marriage to work, one of the very important ingredients is that you must be transparent. There is nothing like, there are things that my husband should not know, or there are things that my wife should not know. And I'm asking you, husbands, do your wives really know you? Or let me make it singular. You, husband, that is looking at me, does your wife really know you? And to you, wife, madam, does your husband really, really know you? So that is the subject of today. If you want your marriage to work, the most important thing is that both of you must work towards mutual transparency. See you next time on Exegetical. Stay blessed.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.